Hello everyone, so I decided to do a quick review of upcoming events for Dragon Quest Tact, mostly March, but I'll do a quick preview of April as well. So the contents, March event, we'll be seeing what was Christmas event in JP, we should see a new unit and some Blossom units I'll talk about, and as I said, April, it will be a Dragon Quest 4 event that will be expect, and I'll do a quick preview of that so that you have a consistent view of what's happening next 2 months. March events and units and overview. So I expect, I think it's 16 or 17 depending on region, we'll get a new Christmas event, or what was Christmas event in JP with a new banner. We get 4 new Blossom units to come with it, and at the same time, obviously a farming event to come, which I'll talk about. Now this is kind of question mark. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we kind of expect mat material and rank up mats and the tome upgrade campaign. So this will be a second week, so a week after 24th March or so, to see this if we receive it. But we're a bit out of sync with the JP on this, so don't quote me on this one. Now, new unit, I'd like to talk about the new unit Ashlynn. So she is a new addition to the auto cover group. So it's really great that we have a third options now after Forest Dragon and Rose Guardian. She's also comes with a really good DPS capability, including a large AoE of the shape, the fan shape that you're familiar with the Zen. And it comes with a Crack and Frizz dual element, dual hit AoE attack. So that looks really good, right? And then we got also an AoE buff, which increases first of all attack, so the damage capability, and a damage mitigation buff in one, and that's a rage 1 and 2. So it's kind of nice. She can cover, and while she's covering, she can buff herself as well as her allies. He also has, so that's supposed to be Crack. So Crack can paralysis single target attack, so that's quite handy to have if you want to paralyze somebody. And has 4 multi-hit single target, very similar to Godly Breath of Zen. Also restores herself with HP. Many perks on the Awakening are alright, but move is 3 after the first Awakening, and then 3 and 5 gives a more bulk and survivability. I put on the right a Runa Chimera, which is a kind of banner 8 rank unit. Not too much to talk about apart from at Awakening 3 he gets auto defuddle, which is like basically similar to Mom. So that's quite interesting to have, just worth noting. So what's new unit Ashlynn about? So we saw all the abilities, and in very simple and very kind of high level, she's a kind of a Zen plus Forest Dragon, as with a bit of Terry because attack and mitigation buff. Auto cover is rare, so that's a real good plus side. And I'll show you the damage, but decentish damage is expected of her, and has many ways to multiple 2 ways in fact, means to restore HP. The one with the kind of single target whip, and then the other one as Awakening 3 perk. So, you would think, I'll go, this is like, wow, this is all good. I'm hearing all the nice thing, Forest Dragon good, Zen good, Terry good. I must I get it? So probably, but let me just kind of look at what I think are the kind of downside, and do let me know if you feel there are others or if you disagree. I'd like to know. But anyway, what I thought the first weakness of her is that she's weak to whoosh and zap in an element, and that's just like really going a common area, notably rough. So especially because of her cover, rough can go with AoE and possibly single, crit and single hit, shot Ashlynn, which is a really downside when the current meta is like full of rough in the field. Also, she's a hero type, which means she's got weight 60. I feel auto cover having a 60 weight is a little bit too much, because, for example, Forest Dragon, Rose Guardian, how often have you seen them die, on a first turn and then kind of disappear off, but you're still happy because it has protected your main DPS and let you go first on take initiative and attack. You know, we can expect that with Ashlynn as well. And then, you know, against a strong wind, you know, resistance type, that might be fine. But because she's like 60 weight, you have less room to fit in the DPS on the rest of the team. Which means that if she drops dead on the first turn, then you like done a significant loss, and she really hasn't delivered the value. So I would say 60 is a bit too much. You need her to survive, do buffs, damage, to kind of on a second turn, so that she can really deliver that 60 weight value. But I think if she does, and if you can't kill it, then it's a real big problem for an opponent. So I think it's good if she can survive that. I would say this unit is a full awakening a must-have. Now, for obvious reasons, as I said, she needs to survive, but also I like to know the agility. So her agility is really, really important, more important than Forest Dragon, because it's a physical attack. So she can miss very easily. Currently, with the auto buffs, there's a huge power creep in agility. So she really needs a full awakening for her to be, I would say, usable. Even awakening 3, which she would be a bit too slow in a current field. Also, I want to note she's got good resistance. She's nullifies sleep, but she's average to confuse, and I think personally that's a huge deal with the current meta. Like Wolf Speed Ace, Wolf Speed. Has a confused AoE because she's covering that procs multiple times, 50 times. It can easily confuse Ashlynn. So it's relatively easy to confuse her on a first turn. Also can be frigid. This is not on her problem alone, but her cover can be frigid waved, and then once the auto cover's gone, it's gone forever. Now that becomes a moral problem when we see a new anniversary unit solo which does that that spammable frigid wave type kind of attack. So it becomes a big problem. I think the other thing is that she has no mitigation to start with. This is comparing to Zen, so she's more vulnerable against attacks. Again, adding to the reason why I think you need to awaken her max if you're going for her. So this one is a very expensive option. It's only for people who's got deep pockets. If you want to go full away, fine. Congrats. I think that's a great addition to your PvP chat. Especially in GVG and attack and defense. So yeah, definitely go for it. If you just get a one copy, save it, and then trying to get more in the upcoming great amazing banners. That's my opinion for Ashlynn. Just, and I put basically just current meta that I think they'll eat Ashlynn alive. It's just another prey for those really annoying rough and Wolf Speed. I just want to talk about the damage before I go on to other stuff. So her damage at base. So the way you look at this is it's a kind of a fan type attack damage, and I'll compare it against Zen. And then these are like a different awakening level. So this is awakening 5. So when you compare the base damage, so the first of all, it does comparable damage at 5 awakening, but very, very significant difference at low awakening. So this is again another reason physical damage dealers do a lot less at low awakening. So definitely another reason to full awaken Ashley if you're going to use her. But also she won't be performing as good as Zen. I mean, it's not hard, fair comparison, right? Zen is one of the best units. But Zen's strength actually comes from the fact that he's got like some absurd buffs. So he comes awakening 3 buffs at 100 HP. Comes with the breath buff at the very first turn. So all in all, he starts doing chunks of damage in the first turn, and we've seen it, we've experienced it in both attack and defense. So that's why he's good. She won't be quite as good as Zen, but she's a full package, right? She's a bells and whistles. So I think it's good. It's good damage and especially crack and Sizz is a weakness of a new unit solo. So that's another plus as well. So yeah, that's Ashlynn review in a short. So next, I would like to talk about the Blossom units. So the Blossom unit that we are seeing, the first is Santa Alina, Salina as they call her. Bad translation, but GameMate auto translate. So she gets a single target, 1 to 3 range. It hits 3 times, but it's a crack attack. 315 doesn't sound too high, but I'll talk about why that's really good. Anyway, so it's a single target multi-hit. Multi-hit is a really nice addition. She already has a very good AoE crack attack, so it's just going to further enforces her strength. Now, her other Blossom perks include Battle Start, Crack Force, and then Critical Hit Rate plus 10. She already has 5 before Blossom, so that's 15. And that's really good because if you play this game long enough, you see how useful Clubber is, how strong Ruff is in Arena. So she's good all around, and especially for PvE. In a similar way, let's look at her damage. So to put up against, I put in Jessica as a damage comparison. Jessica's another good crack damage DPS. And then I did this for turn 2 damage comparison. Then you look at this and think, okay. So basically, Alina is a little bit weaker than Jessica on a turn 2. Yes, the maximum damage comparison is it does look like that. However, there are a few things to note. So the top Jessica's damage is on a basis that she uses her buff ability. So she does no damage on the first turn. Second turn, she can do 3,000 damage. On the other hand, Santa Alina can start doing these 2,000 plus damage on the first turn and then do the damage again on the second turn. So the throughput over of two turns is definitely more with Santa Alina. And furthermore, at Awakening 3 onwards, she this is a kind of before Blossom. Her damage can increase by 50%. It's a random, it's chance, but it can increase it by 50%. What that means is that any damage you're seeing over here can double. 50%. They'll do 50% more, which is why you've been seeing her in the previous 4 FFBE large battles for the Awakening 3 Santa Alina. So she does absurd damage above Awakening 3. And the throughput is really much higher than Jessica. So I would definitely say she's one of the best, if not the best DPS in crack field, and that's a really rare field. The other ones you get is Eric and not many. So I think she's a really kind of must-have in that sense that you don't have other options in crack. On top of that, as I said, in the PvE it has a 15% crit chance plus 15% crit chance. So really excellent. Definitely recommend blossoming as well. I'd just like to also note about agility. So this list is in order of agility at the start of the battle. So, ignoring the ones that, we were yet to see. I mean, let's look at, Dr. Snap. He comes with the kind of one, started down one awake, one kind of agility buff, and it reaches a 776 kind of agility in a potential, max potential. Santa Alina doesn't come with agility buff, yet she is one of the fastest in that read. In fact, she is the fastest unit without a buff. So what that means is, if she gets a buff, she's definitely the fastest. But also she's at a same level as fast as hybrid. So really fast unit. Definitely worth considering that as a kind of key selling when you consider Blossom as well. Other Blossom units, I'll briefly talk about them. So Wacolite, I think it's called, or the B unit, just skip, basically. He has a kind of breast lock ability, but in the current meta, it's useless because a lot of them have breath lock resistance, so the chance is really slim. You don't want to just bring him with that. So easy skip, Blossom or Wacko. Jargon. Now, I thought the same. So I thought this is skippable, but I just recently saw a niche use against Solo where it can confuse Solo despite having a buff of status alignment resist. I won't talk too much detail, but it just has a niche use, possible niche use. So you might want to consider blossoming him. You don't really need to rush, so you could wait perhaps, but why not? I would say. The key one outside Selena is Shell Slime though. So he will get many interesting abilities, but I would just go straight to the point that he has gains ability like Duran, Zaro, Marquis de Leon. He survives with 1 HP when hit with the damage that HP reaches 0 once, which means like you play like in RTA D rank, any lower rank units will be targeted because it survive it dies in a in one shot. He survives that, so which means that he can be a bait twice in a fight, which is really great addition. Although before considering that, don't over expect it if a hit is more than 2 hits, or like aura breath actually might kill it because his HP is still really low after Blossom. But anyway, I would definitely Blossom him because of that utility, and we don't have many D rank options in it right now, so really nice addition there. Event itself, again, I will talk quickly. It's another kind of cactuar like hunt Yeti this time probably, and yeah, it's a standard event. The things to watch out for is, first of all, is an A rank unit. She is a crap DPS, does AoE attack, but what's pretty unique about her is that she has an ability to lower agility. Also, sword. It's an Ashlynn sword, so you want to do it for DPS if you're fully you're gonna go for her. I would say it's also good generic HP role, which is what I'll be doing probably. The key kind of main reward for this event is the shield, I believe. In my opinion, it has a high HP. I think it's the highest alongside that agility lowering shield, the black shield. So definitely farm hard for her. I would personally. And then try to get a triple HP roll, because shield is rare. Whilst it's also equipable by many unit type, it's a great option for likes of I don't know, anybody really. Yeah, anybody who can wear shield. So I talked about the possible 2 times campaign happening. So now, quickly, without trying to making it this too long, I want to talk about April and what's happening. So April first week, we should be seeing Maya and Healy. These dates are just I came up with them. I might be a few days out, but we will see Maya as a banner unit, Healy as a farm unit. 11th, we'll see Mina as a banner unit, Balzac, Saruman Slayer as a blossom. Solo will be around 19th, and then 26th Amon we'll see as the last of the DQ4 units. Now, what I want to say is that all the units are really good. Farmable unit is excellent. Blossom unit is a really strong Saruman Slayer. So really nice, and lots of things happening in April. But one thing I just wanted to let you know, I did talk about the double campaign, but we might be expecting a triple campaign with a double gold in the mid. Now, I don't know if this is tied to the anniversary or is it tied to the DQ4 timeline. So I do apologize if it doesn't happen. But just so you know that don't go just expect that this could happen. Now, without going too much detail, make this video really long, I want to just do a quick review or tier list in a way of the DQ4 banner units plus Saruman Slayer. So Solo first. So he's an absolute must in my opinion. Pull it or regret it. She's definitely irreplaceable in PB contents. At 5 Awakening or even 3 Awakening with him, he's gonna serve really well in PvP battles as well. So definitely a really a good option to go for. Key selling point although is that he has basically Frigid Wave, as I mentioned, type attack, and it's not a single cast, so you can use that multiple times. So he's really competitive. He's still used today in JP meta. Maya, it was just a super fun unit, and everybody thought this is like absurd. She does so much frizz damage, so everybody's gonna excited about her. Only problem, Solo came in and already power crept less than a month, so that was really unfortunate. Yeah, she has a good synergy with the Breath team. Kind of limited use outside the large boss battle, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna, I would really be happy to get her just because of the fun mechanics of Dragon Transform. And then Mina is a kind of another unit that I was super excited about, but turned out to be less viable in the PvE. So she's super unique with a lot of the debuffs ability, and I was thinking she could be a debuff of Young Terry. What turned out that she wasn't that strong and probably niche. However, she could become mandatory if aiming decides to create contents around her, like they did with Diamond Slime. Diamond Slime wasn't a must-have, and they added a full Blossom Door contents that most of it needs Diamond Slime. So they could do that. So if you have a fear of missing out on anything, she's possibly a must-have to keep you safe for future contents. Eamon, he's a really just a pure PvP house, and I'll talk about Sarah as well here. But both of these are pure PvP contents stuff. And then, well, actually, Sarah the Manslayer actually is really good for PvE as well. But Amon is definitely just PvP only. In very very short or rough kind of overview is that he's basically a magic Zen. But with a lot more flaws, including he's weak to paralysis, which is one of the critical skill wants to be weak for, and then she's more fragile and so on and so forth. So yeah, but I think he's really really strong still. I would recommend it if you can go all way, but I think anything less than 5-star, you probably be better off with your old 5-star units, 5 awakening units, in my opinion. But who knows? You might decide 3 awakenings is enough. I'm not sure on that. Sarah Manslayer, sorry, I've kind of briefly talked about it, but he is really really good also. In fact, he's going to become a meta defining unit. You're going to see him a lot. So if you have him, great, definitely blossom him. If you have him low awakening, I would actually consider going for that banner. At least get it to awakening 3 for PvP contents. Yeah, so that's it for the DQ4 preview. And if I feel like it, I might do the DQ4 more in depth later, nearer to the event. But hope you like this content, and thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you soon.